All right, welcome in everybody. I appreciate your patience today. I haven't had the best of luck with technology. Had some camera issues going on, but Brandon has been kind enough and gracious enough to wait along. And man, I'm really excited to have you on the show. For those of you watching that are not familiar with Brandon, he is a football royalty. He is the grandson of our great um, legendary coach Bill McCartney. So, Brandon, thank you so much for joining the show. How are you doing tonight?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. Excited to talk about the Buffaloes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I gotta say, one of the things that I really appreciate about you, and as I started following you on Twitter years and years ago, is how you would always fire us up on Twitter, no matter how many games the Bucks have been losing, or how tough some of these seasons are. You have always been someone who has brought the positivity that's helped us be able to see the positives in every season. I want to know, like, what is your story behind if I'm getting it correctly, the wired, fired, and inspired, that whole thing that you're about.
Well, first off, I must say it really always hasn't been easy making those videos, but we'll get into that a little later. But so when my grandpa was at Colorado from 1982 to 1982 to 94, he would often say, "I'm wired, fired, and inspired," and then a couple years ago when I started making those videos back in 2020, I my brother was like, "Hey, maybe you should use Grandpa Mac's line in the video just to, because we wanted to a good way to wrap it all up." And he said, "Why don't you use 'I'm wired, fired, and inspired,' but make it really energetic in your own way," and and that's something we could use to like help honor Grandpa Mac and in your videos and like just his legacy overall. So that's kind of the backstory with all that.
And I love that. Yeah, it's something that I think not only myself but a lot of Bucks fans, man, we look forward to it every week. And you know, especially over the last couple of years, it's been something that I think has still helped us, especially kind of hold on throughout some of these tough years. But before we dive in a little bit into looking forward, man, I would just love to hear a little bit more about you, your relationship with your grandpa, growing up, with the Colorado Buffaloes, memories, all of those things.
What do you want to hear about first?
And let's hear about, like, okay, because I assume if I'm getting my years correctly, like, you grew up with your grandpa kind of after he was done coaching. So, what was that like? Did he still go around to different football practices or go different places? I don't know. I just want to hear a little bit more about your relationship with him growing up.
Okay, so unfortunately, I missed the entire tenure of my grandpa at Colorado. He he stopped coaching after the 1994 season. I was born in '99, and I never really got to like go to practices and stuff like that or see him coach in person. But um, as far as my relationship with my grandpa, it's great. It's everything you would imagine. Every I unfortunately only see him like once a year during the family reunions, usually in July. Um, but I just sit around there talk. I just sit around his house saying, "Grandpa, share this memory with me. Share this memory about the Buffaloes. Um, uh, tell this story. Tell that story." One of my favorite stories is when we were playing Nebraska. I forget what year it was. Eric Bieniemy had four fumbles in the first three quarters, and then it was downpouring rain. Rain was going sideways, and one of my grandpa's classic quotes is, "It's when the rain's coming down and it's a muddy day in the clouds. It's a beautiful day in Nebraska." uh, and then he said Eric Bieniemy had four touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone. We went on to win 28-12, I believe, was the final score. So that was I just love hearing that story. And the story of when they won the national championship and when he was carried off the field uh, in against Nebraska to go to the national championship in 1990s. Those are some of my favorite stories, and that's just my relationship with my grandpa. And I mean, we do talk about other things than just the Buffaloes, but a majority of it is hey, Grandpa, tell me this, tell me that about the Buffaloes, and also just hearing all my friends and Colorado fans everywhere telling stories about my grandpa Mac's tenure in Colorado and how their dads and how their parents grew up watching my grandpa and going to Promise Keepers that my grandpa
Yeah.
started, and all that kind of stuff is just kind of really breathtaking to see how much my grandpa has really touched the lives of other people and how their stories they have of Colorado games and just because it's different for me because I didn't get to witness that in person, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I want to ask you, since you weren't around when your grandpa was coaching, what have been some of those big time Colorado Buffalo memories that are special to you?
My top three favorite moments are number one is obviously winning the national championship. Number two is the Miracle in Michigan, and number three is when Darian Hagan pitched it to J.J. Flanagan
Yeah.
on the left side of the field to beat Nebraska. Well, not beat Nebraska, but take the lead. Those are three of my all time favorite Colorado moments.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think all those kind of go down in the iconic different moments for Buffs history for sure. Let's kind of get into a little bit of this season, this past season. So let's start with it. I mean, putting out those videos every week. Carl Durrell doesn't last. I don't know, maybe
5 weeks.
yeah, 5 weeks. What were your kind of first thoughts on the firing? We had Rick George make a statement, all of that. What were your expectations for kind of the direction that we were going to go?
Well, after he got fired, I was thinking to myself, I really hope we get a good head coach. And in the back of my mind, I was like, hmm, wouldn't it be cool if we hired Deion Sanders? But then I was like, yeah, there's no way that's ever gonna happen. And then a couple weeks and then weeks later, I forgot that I made that claim. Right after we lost to right after we fired him, a couple of my friends were like, "Who do you want to who do you want to hire?" And then I said, "I don't know." And then a day later I said, "I want to hire Deion Sanders as our head coach." So, but it was a it was a roller coaster getting to that point and getting through last season. But I just love watching my Buffaloes every Sunday, regardless of the score. They're really like family to me.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of family, I think Anthony's bringing up a great comment here. Did Coach Mack give the current program his blessing? I saw that he met with Coach Prime and all that just a little bit ago. Have you had a chance to talk with him about kind of his thoughts and feelings about everything that's going on now?
I really didn't get a chance, no, but I yeah, but I think he did give Prime his blessings and that he would do well this season and that he would take over and run with the football team. So to answer what was his name, Anthony?
Yes.
Sorry. Um to answer his question, yes, I do think he gave him his blessings. Not entirely sure though, but uh, when I meant Prime, I didn't really get to talk to him. But just it was just a brief hello.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I brought this up before too with people that haven't been familiar with the history of Colorado and everything, because I feel like some people have been skeptical, saying how a person like Coach Prime, uh, it's not a good fit, with him being in Colorado and all that. But I was like, I mean, I know that that Coach Mack and Coach Prime might, they're different in their own ways, but at the same time, they're both very similar in the, with some like how vocal they are about their values, faith, and beliefs. Just how I don't know, like they're both very charismatic, but they were both very hard, as coaches. They maintained that balance very well. And yeah, when the rumors started popping up about Deion Sanders possibly coming here to coach, this is the first thing that I thought of was Coach Mack. You know, with him being here, and I just think it's a great fit. You know, when you're looking at this year, well, let's talk about the recruiting or some of your favorite players that have come on. Who are some of the players that you're most excited about this year?
Well, he's above who played last year. Safety Trevor Woods. I think that with him in this new secondary that we're getting, him, Cormani, um, Travis Hunter,
Yes. So
that I mean, our secondary is really deep, but I think that the needle in the haystack here is going to be Trevor Woods, and he was really good up until he got hurt last season. But I think that he could be a really good player, and he's dynamic, and he, he's just always been one of my favorite players. So that's why I'm kind of really excited about him. I'm glad he stayed with Colorado.
Me too.
And,
Me too.
and I do think that he can open up a little bit more with not having to take on so much baggage on the secondary with with the hopefully elite secondary coming in.
Yeah, that's a great point. With a lot of the guys that they're bringing in, they're going to have the ability to shut down their man one-on-one, and it's going to leave some more opportunity for the safeties to do some really cool things. Maybe we see some more blitzing. Maybe we see them get the opportunity to get some more, interceptions, being able to be given a little bit more freedom and coverage. I think that's a great point, man. Let's talk a little bit about Shedeur Sanders a little bit. What are your thoughts on him? And then give me your thoughts on Travis Hunter.
Well, I'm really excited that we finally potentially have a really good quarterback because last year that's where we struggled mightily, and we only had like 11 touchdowns total, like running and or rushing and throwing from our quarterbacks. We had 5 starting quarterbacks. Well, not we had 5 quarterbacks play last year, and I think Shedeur Sanders is gonna be a lot more dynamic. He's gonna be able to extend plays a lot more accurate. To be honest with you, and just a lot better overall, and it's really going to help improve our offense too. To I think the sky's the limit for this offense with Shedeur Sanders, and then if your boy Travis Hunter can be the wide receiver that he was at Jackson State, just tell the Pac-12 to go home because this thing is going to be ours. But I'm mostly excited to see what Travis Hunter is going to do on defense because we really haven't had a defensive back like this since my grandpa was at Colorado. It's like a generational talent that Travis Hunter is going to be, and it's going to be really special to see what he can do on both sides of the ball and on special teams because he is going to be a part-time kicker and punt returner for us.
Yeah. Travis Hunter, man, one of those guys that I feel like can just be like once in a generation, and I think for a lot of Bucs fans, man, regardless of how this season goes with the record, because I know a lot of people's expectations are all over the spectrum, depending on who you talk to, but just seeing the talent level that this team is going to roll out, it's going to be so night and day different from what we've normally been accustomed to. And I think that's something that I'm really excited about. With Shador, um, you know, we've had guys such as like Seppo or Montez. I almost forgot his name for a minute. Steve Montez. That have been like, okay, these guys could sign as like undrafted guys in the NFL, but having that sort of fringe NFL talent versus Shador, who could be a top pick in the NFL if everything goes accordingly and stuff like that to expectation. It's going to be just so much more fun to watch an offense that's led by a quarterback with real NFL potential. So I'm really excited about that. What are your thoughts? Let's talk a little bit about the other wide receivers then, because we know Travis Hunter will be playing a little bit along with Shador, but who are some other guys within that room that you're excited about?
I'm really excited about Jimmy Horn Jr. I think that he's going to be a really good player, and well, first and foremost, everybody on this, almost everybody on our in our wide receiver core is going to have a lot of speed. And that's something we really didn't have last year or in the past. I think the last speedy wide receiver we had was LaVisca and KD Nixon back in 2016, or back in that era, 2018, 19, 20. But Jimmy Horn Jr. is going to be really good, and the other guys, they're going to be really complimentary to him. And like I said, if we can have Travis Hunter be a wide receiver 3 or 4, that's going to open the door a lot more for Shedder to have and more weapons and opportunities to throw the ball downfield um, and have speed and win ball games. So it's different times in Colorado, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's quite different. That is definitely for sure. Clay had a good question here.
Where do you see the comments?
Oh, just right here on the right side. I think if you hit.
Oh, I see them now.
Yeah, but Clay says here, does your family happen to watch any of the Well Off videos? Do you watch kind of the behind the scenes of what's going on at CU?
Actually, I've never really watched one, to be honest with you. No, I haven't.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you're a busy guy. I would encourage you to check some of them out, especially as we get into fall practice. I assume that those are going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, with guys that you're talking about, like Jimmy Horn, their personalities really shine through in those videos. And I'm not able to catch all of them all the time, but I'm able to peek in every now and then and check it out. And it's fun, man, to get to know the guys, I don't know, kind of from that perspective, so to speak. But yeah, go ahead.
And did I see that Cormani McLean's going to play on both sides of the ball too? Because
you think he will? Yeah.
if he does, like I said, watch out.
Yeah. He's going to be another really fun player to watch as well. And yeah, with that cornerback room, having multiple guys over 6 feet. I think Travis Hunter, 6'1" something, Cormani McLean about 6'2", both long wingspans. It's going to be.
I'm not too happy that we got rid of Jordan Tyson and LMC, but I guess it is what it is at this point. But I I I was really excited to see them work in this offense because they were both really fast and dynamic too.
I know.
Especially Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, I was really hoping that it would have worked out for them to stay. Yeah, just because I wanted to see, also some of these holdover buffs really kind of have their moment, for sticking with the program when it wasn't, where it's at.
And I do wish them nothing but the best at Arizona State and Arizona.
Yeah, I think they'll do very well. I think some of the other guys that they've brought in here, you're going to love to see. Xavier Weaver, Javon Antonio is a big guy coming up from the FCS level. He's like freaking 6'4", runs like a 4.4. He's got great speed, maybe even 4.3. I don't know. We'll see what the commenters say, but I'm very excited for the offense. Are you planning to make it up to any of the games this year, you think?
I really want to, but unfortunately, I just don't think I will be able to with the. I mean, who knows? Hopefully, it's hopeful, but I really haven't been out to a game since 2017 just because it's during the school year, and but fortunately not.
Yeah, and especially coming over from Illinois, it can definitely be a big trip that you need to plan out way ahead of time. So,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe if the Buffs were to join the Big Ten one day, that would make things a little easier, right?
Well, I mean, they are playing Northwestern in like 2027 or 2025 at Ryan Field, so you bet I'm going to that game.
Yeah. No, that's just right around the corner. It's not too far away. What are your expectations for the Bucks this year?
Well, not too off the roof. I think when people say, "Hey, BMAC, what do you think Colorado record's going to be?" I say, "Well, 4-year plan is this year we're going to go like 5, 6, 7 wins, and then bowl eligibility. Next year we're going to win the Pac-12, and then make the college football playoff, and then in 3 to 4 years we're going to win the national champ. Or 3 years we're going to go to the or semifinals, and then to 2027 we're going to win the national championship. That's that's just kind of my 4-year plan. But even if we do win like just 2 games, that's still a major improvement from last year because we only won 1 game last year. Even 2, 3, 4 wins is going to be a huge improvement, and I'm going to be a lot happy. And all the bandwagon fans, Primera fans, won't understand that, but us true Buffs fans will understand how important it'll be to get to just 2 wins. And even if our first one's going to come against TCU, our second one's going to come against Nebraska, our third one's going to come against the team in Fort Collins, and then yeah, the rest will be history.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I. That's kind of how I feel too. I think as I've followed the team more and more, I think we'll have more wins than I expected in like January or December. Now that I've seen the quality of player or athlete that they've been able to bring in, but I think this is one of the really unique situations where Coach Prime really he can't fail this year just because of where we've been at in pretty much anything. It's kind of like one of those things where, growing up when you take tests and you like those standardized tests and you get points, for writing your name down. That's kind of where we're at, which is like, if just some basic things are improved upon with this program, it's going to look fantastic. And I think that things won't probably run as smoothly at different times as what we're hoping for within this first year, but I still think that there's going to be drastic improvement. And again, you alluded to this, Coach Prime. This isn't a 10-year rebuild that he's wanting to be a part of. He wants to go win quickly, and I do think that being in the college football playoff 2-3 seasons is more than just a fairly realistic possibility, I would say.
Especially with expanding the 12 teams, 2024, 2025.
Yes, exactly. I think that is a completely, I feel like, realistic thing to achieve in the ways in which that he's recruiting. Yeah, so I'm very excited. But yeah, what I want to get your thoughts on this too. You know, I guess we haven't played Nebraska since 2019.
2019.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that matchup right now?
First of all, I'd rather be dead than red, but but yeah, just to open the Folsom's 100th season against Nebraska the day after my birthday, and to be able to hopefully beat them, and shut down all the smack talk from Coach Rule is going to be one heck of a Saturday.
Yes,
Because as you and I both, we hate Nebraska, and and we'd rather beat nobody else than Nebraska. So yeah,
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's funny enough that when um, when Carl Zarell first got fired, I mean the guy that I was really hoping the Buffs like could go after
was Matt
was
Rule.
Matt Rule. It's like, man, like go get Matt Rule. I think he'd do a good job. He does a great job with taking over schools with programs in sorry places, and it's funny enough that he's ended up at Nebraska. I wasn't predicting that, but man, it is what it is, man. Well, we'll go here and wrap it up here. But I do have a couple more questions for you.
Fire away.
Yeah. Um, Give me like your hottest of hottest. Like it can be an individual, it could be the team uh, prediction this year that I need to remember that BMAC made on David Talks Bucks.
We will going in. We play Oregon week 4, right?
Yes.
We will be undefeated going into the Oregon game.
Okay. All right. BMAC said it here. 3-0, 3-0 to start the year, and then yeah, I just want to know, man, who is in your lifetime your favorite Buff of all time, and why?
Well, aside from my cousin Derek McCartney, you said of my lifetime.
Yeah,
Oh, can I give you my top 5? Because that's
yeah.
really hard.
Give me your top 5.
My cousin's going to be on that list. Philip Lindsay, Cephalufau, um, um, LaVisca Chenault. Don't know how I forgot his name. Sunday Night Jitters, I guess. And then somebody that probably not everybody in this chat knows is I don't know why, but I really liked Rodney Stewart when I was
Yeah,
growing up. He was really good.
man, I love that. I'll give you my top 5 too, just off the top of my head. Um, no particular order. I'll go with Visca Chenault. I'll go with Tom Ruin. I'll go with Cordell Stewart. I'll go with Tyler Columbus, and then I'll go with Philip Lindsay. So I'll finish with
Some
Philip
goats.
yeah, yeah. Granted, I was very little when some of those guys were playing. But,
Yeah, I'm just jealous that you got to watch my grandpa coach, but that's just me.
well, man, Brandon, I really appreciate you. Coming on the show. Hopefully, I can get to talk to you as the season progresses as well. Would love to have you back on, and we can talk about how the Buffs are doing throughout the season. But man, thank you for everything that you have done for Buffs Nation and continue to do. Regardless of what you think, man, you are beloved by Buffs Nation. You are an icon. So please continue to put out all the wired, fired, and inspired videos. And
Every Saturday or Friday night.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Not going to stop. Well, thank you for having me, David.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody, please go follow Brandon on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle, by the way?
Handle is B McCartney7.
B McCartney7. Go follow him. I'll tag him in a Twitter post later tonight. But thank you for tuning in. And as always, go Bucks.
Beat Nebraska.
Let's see here.